Hi, I'm Greg McDonough with Spider Tie. We wanted to talk to you here from this roof because, as you probably already know, the first casualty of a home during a major storm is its roof. When you look at pictures of the aftermath, there may be walls and furniture still in a home, but its roof is gone. We have worked tirelessly to come up with a system so that won't happen. The real star here is the Spider Tie. This small little component makes it possible for you to clad any surface with structural concrete or cellular concrete, and we'll get into the difference later here in this video. But the point is this: if the roof cannot be separated from the walls, then your home stands a chance against these storms. Now, you've seen the roof, so let me take you down below and show you what a concrete home doesn't look like. This video that you are about to watch is going to demonstrate how you can take a wood home and turn it into a concrete home. In a sense, we're using the wood structure as a mold and cladding the exterior with a form of lightweight cellular concrete. This would include the walls, the eaves, and the roof. What you're seeing here is a standard process that every builder is very familiar with, framing your walls just like you ordinarily would. In this case, though, we put a building wrap on the exterior so that we can create a barrier between the concrete that's going to be poured in later and the wood structure. We have found that one of the easiest ways to work with the spider ties in an application similar to this is to nail the spider ties down to the wood frame directly over the studs below the plywood. Just like any other wood frame structure, you stand the walls the same way. Those boxes that you see outside the window, they're just window boxes that we built so that they extend outside of the wall 8 inches to match the exterior surface where we're going to attach our form ply later. So all the exterior walls we stand just like we ordinarily would. Remember, we're using the wood structure as a mold so we can clad the exterior with concrete. These forms in the exterior will give us an 8-inch thick concrete wall. So what you see here in these pictures are the crew putting the exterior plywood on necessary to finish the outside layer. The picture that you have here shows how you can form up the eave. The eave is very simple. These triangular boxes allow you to build a platform, and you can then put crown molding inside to get a nice detail on the edge of your eave. The cellular concrete is quite a bit different than regular concrete. It has a foaming agent in it to make it light. It's self-leveling. It flows just about into every cavity, but it's about half the weight of regular concrete, so that it makes it possible for us to go ahead and pour the concrete directly over the trusses. The amount of weight for a 3-inch thick concrete roof is only about 18 pounds per square foot. As you notice, we're nailing the spider ties directly to the roof just like we did with the walls. There's no difference. In this case, we needed some extra insulation, so we put down some 3-inch EPS styrofoam board. And then once the board is down, we just nail the spider ties to the roof sheathing. We're not trying to get on top of the rafters, we're just creating 2-foot spacing. The rebar application is very much like you would on a floor. You slide the rebar in based on the engineering and tie the rebar up together. This rebar actually comes from the foundation through the wall and over the roof. The areas in between, we put the 6/6-10-10 steel wire mesh. Once that's all completed, there are a couple different ways that you can put the plywood roof sheathing on. As you see here, the plywood is being screwed on. There are other locations where you can actually nail it on if you don't need to remove the plywood. Simply take the modified alignment tool and just note where the screws are. So by putting a dot of paint, you just put a screw. We actually just nailed the plywood right down to the spider ties from above. Now, this plywood did not come off later. Lightweight cellular concrete allows you to nail into the concrete as well later if you need to adhere the plywood even better to the concrete. This was very simple, same process that you ordinarily would in sheathing the roof. We drilled several 4-inch holes throughout the surface in areas that we knew that the concrete would have difficulty spreading to, and at the ridge most of the concrete was applied. We just left a 4-inch space and put the pump in there, and that concrete flowed directly. As you realize, I mentioned earlier that you can nail into this. This is just a regular 1-inch crown stapler that you can actually staple right into the concrete. Coil nails nail into this lightweight solid concrete as well. There's so many different things that you can do with this, but it gives you a Class AAA rating on the roof. This roof has a 6-hour fire rating on the concrete alone, not to mention the shingles that are offered. Once the whole thing is done, you have a structure that allows you to put any type of exterior finish on it, whether it be stucco or if you want to overlay the exterior with a wood siding and change things up. On an average, this process adds about 10 to 14% more to the cost of construction. So for example, if you had a $300,000 home, you would be spending another $30,000 to $34,000 to create this type of structure. But the best thing is that you've got a concrete structure that can withstand tremendous wind. This house is hurricane proof as well as highly tornado resistant. It creates a structure that's very safe so that people can live in a home with security.